What's going on, guys? We're live. So, I want to go over some commentary and comments that I'm seeing over on X, as I have done before prior several months back, specifically on my other channel, Mulatto History channel. But I'm going to cover more of that here now on this channel, bringing this material back because, as I said several months back when I was covering a lot of the material, after a while, after a few streams, I was kind of like, I'm getting bored and getting done with it. Very redundant. The material was like very similar. The commentary, the memes, the jokes, and you're gonna see some of the stuff that I'm gonna share with you. It's yeah, after a couple streams, I kind of got bored with it. I was like, there's other pressing issues to talk about, but it's important to actually cover this stuff here and there because the people are talking about us. People are talking, and we have to be informed. A lot of us don't know that there's other spaces on the web where we're like the main topic of discussion. And this is exactly why people don't want you to have a voice. They don't want you to control the narrative. People want to speak for you. And that's not going to work anymore. There's too many of us that are developing courage and expressing ourselves. So, the comment I have on the screen, this is actually from a mulatto man, mulatto gentleman, who put a comment in my mulatto community Facebook group. And this was several months back. I was sharing some other material, the Mayocell Crashouts, right? Wingnat incels, white nationalist incel crashouts. So primarily, you're going to find this stuff on X. I don't see it too much. I don't see it at all really here on YouTube or even TikTok. It's primarily all over on X. And I should have probably came prepared to share my X. You guys can follow me there. I'll actually pin it right now in the chat. But yeah, I want to read this comment here. So, a lot comes from the manosphere and segregated black manosphere, which are divided into several groups. Now, that right there is interesting because they talk about, well, the manosphere, they're implying that it's like a white space. It's a white man space, male centered space, right? But see, to indicate that it's black, they have to put the black in front of it, right? Same thing like in the United States, where it's like if someone you say, I'm an American, right? They already have an image of what an American is. Or someone who says they're British or English or they're Scottish or they're, Australian, right? But then see in the United States, like I said, if you already have an image of what an American is. But if you want to indicate if it's a black American, they put the black in front of it, right? Or African in front of it. But the Caucasians, they don't have to do that. They can go anywhere. There's no other further clarification needed, right? So I find it interesting here where even within like the male spaces, they will and in the female as well, they have that, right? They have the acronym BWE, which is Black Women Empowerment. So if it was just, women empowerment, they would, why did they put the black there, right? Because the racial implications is there. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I just put in my Twitter. You guys are X, whatever. You guys can go follow me over there if you want to. I am active over there. I mean, some of the comments and the commentary is interesting. Yeah, so this is primarily where I'm going to find all this stuff at over there on X. So let me go into this comment. Again, is a mulatto gentleman who he's basically, this is his response to why there's so much negative propaganda being espoused over on X in regards to white females with black males, because that's the primary target that a lot of these Mayo cells, are going after. They don't care the fact that, white men have created mulattoes and have created mestizos for centuries around the planet. They have nothing to say about that. Literally, Latin America, that is entire, creation, if you will, for all intents and purposes, like Hispanic, etc., Latinos. Obviously, we know there's indigenous peoples in those lands prior, but once these kind of pirates kind of came over and invaded these lands, they mixed in with the native women's, right, and created a whole new racial groups of people. So, they've been doing that for centuries, right? And then nobody says a word about that. They never have any, accountability for that. But all of a sudden, when it's a white female, right, and she's with the black guy, they cry, they whine, they rage. So this guy puts here fathers' rights, MGTOW, which is men going their own way, and then PUA, which is pickup artist. Okay. Now, just to be clear, they are not all racist and have some legit complaints like getting screwed in a family court. Yeah, well, he says they're not all racist, but it's kind of like, yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah, that's true. The benefit of doubt. A lot of the times you see these comments from these guys, they just want to troll the kind of single moms, right? They'll say like the mud shark type of thing, that comment, right? Basically, if you guys know, a mud shark is a white woman who dates a black guy. That is the terminology they use. And then even the blacks, they have a terms like, the FBA, like Tariq Nasheed and that crowd, black women who date white males, they'll call that black female, they'll call her a bedwench. And then in reverse, they'll call the white boys will call the white boys will call the black male, they'll call him, or excuse me, I'm tripping, okay. The white boys will call the white female a mud shark, but then the blacks, they'll call the black male who deals with white women, they'll call him a bed buck or a bunny hop or whatever. I know it's a lot of different, terminologies. I'm kind of trying to remember all of them. So let me continue on. Feminism and single motherhood pandemic. Damn, it's a pandemic, huh? Global as well, right? I guess it depends what culture, what country you're dealing with, is an issue throughout Western society, he's saying. Back in 2018, the alt-right had tried to openly influence the white manosphere supporters, and most content creators shunned and rejected them. I don't know. Yeah, that's interesting. His observation. This gentleman's older than me. I think he's an Xer. So he's got probably a decade older than me, but just based off his observation. And I have witnessed in the last 3 years these ethno-nationalists using legitimate concerns in the manosphere with regards to the effects of single motherhood and the removal of the father through Section 8 housing, no-fault divorce, and welfare benefits by targeting specifically single white moms with biracial children. It's pure racism, but, he puts, but the underlying issues cannot be ignored. Well, you could talk about both of them. You could talk about, because when you look at the commentary, what I'm going to show with you, like the comments from these guys, like this just screams male seldom. The commentary and what the one thing is they always point out, oh, the child's ugly. You're going to have an ugly child. They're always pointing out the looks. This white woman with her black partner and they got a biracial kid, that child's ugly. And I was like, why are they so fixated on the looks of the offspring? Right? Because they know they can't, we all have the potential for success. I have a white mom, black father. Okay, me and all my siblings, we're all property owners, debt free, college educated. We're all upstanding citizens. So it's like all their narratives are going to push. It is just completely, gets thrown out the window because they want to make these claims that, oh, we're going to be in poverty our whole life. We're going to have identity issues and all this other stuff. They make all these claims, but they don't really provide the sources for that. Their main argument, as they say, is, well, the kid's ugly. You're going to produce ugly kids. Well, you're going to see it. I'm going to get to the comments and the Twitter spot. So yeah, Section 8 housing, none of that stuff applies to me. Yeah, no fault divorce, welfare benefits by targeting, single biracial children. It's pure racism, of course. But the underlying issues is racism. Okay. He said that for him, he thinks the underlying issue is feminism. He puts in, and the single motherhood pandemic, but it takes two to tango. The guys are making these women single mothers, okay? And the women pick these guys, so it's the guys at fault too. You have guys out here even in the black community where they have multiple baby mamas. There's even biracial baby mamas. There's one particular who's been trying to clout chase off me and smear me for a minute, and she's got multiple baby daddies. We're how did see the guys are at fault as well. because they lay down and participate with these individuals. It's the guys who participate with these scummy low class women. So no, it's on the guys. Is it? It can't all just be feminism, because you can easily detect the feminist or whatever and just basically kick them out of your circles. You don't have to deal with them. I think it's just the easy cop out. Underlying issues cannot be ignored. He puts Coach Greg Adams, aka CGA, is a black father who has two biracial kids from a white mother. Yeah, and we've already calculated that the guy's a scumbag. We've already heard like he's anti-biracial, even though he has biracial kids. You know, he's a demonic creature. I mean, even Patrick, shout out to Patrick, he pointed it out on his channel. He made a community post, and it's like, yeah, I actually clipped a video from Coach Greg Adams, or I think it was the other guy, Jason Tatum, one of these right wing grifters. But this Coach Greg Adams guy, it's like it's the same club. He's a black guy with a white partner. He has biracial kids, but yet they still throw slurs and talk crap about biracial people when it's convenient, because those guys, they all have a white audience. Talking about CGA, and then the Tatum guy, married to white women or divorced now, whatever, but mixed kids. And in order to appease their audience, yeah, they throw biracials under the bus. It's like these are not allies or friends or people we should be taking seriously. Like what CGA, this Coach Greg Adams guy, yeah, just basically the best advice he has is just go to the gym. You know, his whole thing is to just, why are you still getting married? Don't get married. That's his whole platform. He's even, I was talking to one of my friends about that a while ago, bringing up CGA. It's like he just kind of sounds, he's like bitter. He's bitter, man. He's still bitter over his divorce, and that's very sad. He's still bitter about his divorce, but he chose the woman he was with. Whose fault is it? He's going to blame all these women, It's, tell me I'm wrong, guys. I'd love to hear it. He has inspired and helped. He's saying him. I'm reading this guy's comment. He's inspired. So he's saying CGA inspired and helped him cope with feminism and female nature in general. Interesting. The late Kevin Samuels was also influential and pointed out the hypocrisy of the sisterhood in the black community. Yeah, but you only deal with that if you're in their community, or if you're in some working environment where they make up a sizable number of the workforce, or if they're like in like HR or something like that, right? If they're your manager or something, I don't know. Other than that, like that whole sisterhood, the black sisterhood and the community, like that's like black community stuff. And you're talking about Kevin Samuels, he's a black, and CGA, he's a black, right? They're not biracial or not mulatto. So if you're biracial, you're mulatto, you're dealing with them in their community. I mean, at least if you're going to make money or something, that's cool. But I wouldn't take it so seriously to get like caught up in the sisterhood. Like, why are you dealing with them? You make sure you get your money, then go build your own community, right? To know who is in charge, find out who you can't criticize. Yeah, right. I agree with that sentence here. We live in a gynocentric society, and the effects are obvious with the disintegrating family nucleus. Yeah. The racists are using this to their advantage by singling out single moms with biracial kids to shame and discourage race mixing. Yeah, for sure. For sure. What do you guys think about this comment? Okay, you guys have no idea who made this comment. The name's not there. I'm just saying, gentlemen shared this several months back. I wanted to bring it here, talk about this in conjunction with some of the comments I'm going to read on these like X threads. I'll have a couple threads. Let's see how long I go with this, but I don't really agree with this gentleman's assessment that it's that these racist whites have a reasonable grievance. It's because it's the courts, the feminism, single mother pandemic, and the courts, and like no fault divorce and all that. I don't agree with that at all, because like I said, these guys, all they do is they talk shit about the biracial and how ugly the biracial is. How the hell is that solving anything? How is that solving anything? It's not. And as I stated, this guy CGA is no friend to biracial men. The women maybe, yeah, so you can bastardize them, right? But not the men. And then even Kevin Samuels, like, didn't he was in the Atlanta like television series where the episode he was in was like mocking some biracial guy who was trying to like fit in with blacks somewhere in Atlanta. And then Kevin Samuels, like that was the episode he was in. It was all the center was all around biraciality. That was, so I don't get it. Like how you act like these people are like, and you look up to them. So that's kind of concerning. But you're older, mulatto. I understand like the generational nuance. Okay. So it's for the millennial guys and the Z's where, we're seeking other sources of information and inspiration. We're detaching from the webs of the communita, as you put it here. Communita, yeah. Just make sure you make your money when you deal with them. That's what I plead to you guys. Make sure you get something out of the whole ordeal. Don't come out basically dry and empty handed because they need you more than you need them. A lot of you haven't figured it out yet, but that's okay. I'm here to help you out. So this is from a guy. It's at the Canadian Patriot. Is one of these wingnat pages here, Mayocell pages, because he's so proud to be Canadian. He's a patriot, but yeah, he acts like this is going to destroy his culture. One incident. See what they're upset about this image here because it's a pretty looking white lady. Okay. We can read the caption. It says, "My sister is having a hard time finding a good boyfriend that has a job. Could y'all Photoshop my nephew out of this picture or turn him white so hopefully she can find a good man?" It could just be like a whole complete troll like setup because even it says Lex Luthor. It's like a Facebook post. Photoshop that. It could just be some troll crap. That's what they've been reduced to is trolling. Right? That's why I laughed the title Patriot, you know. It's like you guys are just trolls on the internet. And I saw this comment. This is the first one I want to check out before I get into some others. Puts right here, "Look at how beautiful she is. Now completely destroyed. That mongrel will never have this beautiful girl looks." You see that? Already calling you guys mongrels, right? See? And didn't I tell you earlier, they always talk about the looks. It's like, why is that a concerning issue for them? The looks. Nothing about how this person can contribute to society, nothing. About what they bring to the table, nothing. It's all about, well, the bloodline's ruined. You don't look like us. The looks, right? It says right here, "What a bloody shame. She's diluted her white race. No coming back from that." Now, this comment here is interesting. Okay, it says, "She could have found a healthy, intelligent, handsome white man and bred gorgeous, healthy, white, intelligent white kids instead of going snow bunny and birthing a mongrel," again, right? Slurring you guys, calling you slurs. "Of course, her prospects are abysmal. She's a 304 for life. She can go back to her Mandingo." Now, I want to point out the 304. That nomenclature is part and parcel with what the other mulatto gentleman was talking about, the whole Kevin Samuels and the whole red pill manosphere community, all that shit. Like that's I hopefully you guys can see this. I can zoom it up. I apologize. I just noticed it's kind of think it's a better visual here for you guys. Um yeah, the guy puts here 304. So like in those spaces are dominated by the black social media personalities. As the guy, Kevin Samuels had the largest platform before he passed. Fresh and Fit, okay, they had the larger platform. Still currently within that red pill space. There's no whites that are comparable to numbers and influence within that space. The blacks have dominated that whole red pill space basically the past, several years with Kevin Samuels and Fresh and Fit. And you got CGA, which you said Coach Greg Adams out there and some other fellas, But the 304, that's the nomenclature that they use. So now you got white nationalists. The funny thing is because most of those spaces, like it's all white. It's all white. It's all male cells. And then nig cells also. They're in those spaces. And they're using the same nomenclature. And that's why, but then this guy here, he goes to a whole patriot. They're, Canadian patriot. They're so patriotic and proud of their heritage, but he's watching black content, right? And he uses their nomenclature. Then he goes to his little white nationalist hangout spot just to talk shit on a white woman right? With the mixed kid, because see, the thing is they know on the ranking scale, we can use this ranking scale. She's an attractive woman, kind of looks like a Barbie, right? An attractive woman. See, that's why they're very upset and they want to troll her. Okay. The liberal mind virus, he says, he puts, "Are you a Nazi? Pure cope. Kid looks better than her." And see, look at that. He's like, "Are you a Nazi?" He's like, "We are everywhere, right? Go back to Germany." Yes. Yeah, basically Elon Musk, that's what the app has been reduced to. So let me check out some more of these comments here to show you guys what it's always about. It's always about like the looks. They're always going to go into all the looks. Even right here, look at this. They have a Robert De Niro meme. Says you're laughing. I got kids that look like monkeys, and you're laughing. See, it's about looks with them because Robert De Niro, his family, um, you guys see that it's all about looks. And this is the extent to them trolling, right? Especially in America, where it's kind of sad, like with this whole Cracker Barrel situation, where it's like the culture war is all they're invested in. Yeah, they have the executive branch, they have the legislative branch currently that can change, within a couple years, and then they have the judicial. They have the majority in the judiciary. So they have all the branches of government, they have the seats of power, but yet they still act like they're powerless. Like they still need to play victim. That's the whole white nationalist, basically psyche. They want to adopt the Black American psyche in a lot of regards to be this kind of perpetual victim. And they need the boogeyman. And for them, the white nationalists, their boogeyman is the Jew. And then for the Black nationalists, their boogeyman is the white man, right? Even though they all work for white men, they all lust after, white women. It's a mess. Okay. What I'm saying is that with these guys over here in this spot, like they want to be victims so bad, but yet their people are running the government. Or according to them, no, it's not true. It's a Zog, it's occupied, according to them. Now, and again, this is the whole mud shark thing. This is kind of how stupid, yeah, no, yeah, yeah. This is what they got. Again, the mud shark. So scared of being called racist, she got knocked up by a Negro to brag to her friends. Now forever single. Now, interestingly enough, a lot of engagement. Like we can say, look, 4,700 views, 247 likes. Okay. Scared of being called racist, she got knocked up. Now we could take that and we could apply that to a lot of what you guys see, on social media with light skinned and biracial women. Okay, hear me out. You can see that where it's like a lot of them, and I've seen other people post about it on. I shared something I think like a few weeks ago, where it's like, yeah, you don't have to. They sleep with a black guy to prove their blackness. Let me pull up exactly what I'm talking about. I shared it on my community tab. I'm gonna go pull it up right now for you guys, and you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Just with the few words I uttered, that there's a lot of biracial women who want to, because their father was never around, they want to prove their blackness by getting with a black guy, right? And lighter skinned women, same thing. That's why they take on the narratives of like of colorism and all that stuff. So because they want to fit in with the black society. So let me pull this up real quick. I'm just segueing to make this connection, but we'll get right back on track. Let me see exactly where it was. If I can find it quick enough, because then I can just move on. Okay, here it is. I found it. I posted this 2 weeks ago. Okay. I think this is worthy to note here. Saw this on X today. Okay, this is Twitter. 2 weeks ago. And I saw that and I posted it here on YouTube. It says, I don't know who needs to hear this, but dear light-skinned women, you don't need to F on the blackest ninja you can find to prove something. You are more than enough, and your identity is not contingent on who guilt trips you into having sex with them. Yeah, right. And a guy put here the Anglo MGM was forced to socially socialized, integrated as a black, which is why is their achievements becoming that of Black America. In an alternate universe, the US would be a three-way like South Africa with whites, blacks, and he puts MGM, which would be what multi-generational mulatto. A lot of engagement. I got 77 likes from you guys. 77 likes there. Shots fired. True, but these self-haters get violent when you reject them. And that's he's talking about with black males. When they get rejected, they get violent. Yeah. That's why it's best to stay far away from them. And then she puts exactly Creole lady and then mulatto says period. So a lot of agreement here with some of you guys. So yeah, I wanted to share that one because I'll go back to it. This whole mud shark description, whatever generic thing here says, yes, being scared of called racist. And a lot of you'll see biracial or light skin, they're afraid of being called colorist or anti-black, right? You had guys like Phil Advice Show who did a video, and I talked about on my other channel, where he was covering a Creole lady discussion. And he was basically saying that, a lot of those Creoles, they get with other Creoles because they want to keep their skin color. He literally said that crap, right? So they push those narratives in their community, and they push that and wield that onto the lighter skinned women, and especially mixed women who are in that community, right? It's different if she's mixed and she's not a part of that community, where she's like from the suburbs or raised in a different environment, different culture, different country. It's different. It's just the ones who are in the black community who are kind of unfortunate enough to be raised in crappier areas. They get these social stigmas and social devices get placed on them, and they get subdued into proving themselves. And that's, yeah, the baby mama shit comes, yeah, because they don't want to come off as being colorist or racist, but in exchange, you get to be a baby mama. So I guess that's a fair trade to some. I don't know, but okay. Yeah, see, and look at that here. They're just like trolling. It says, no, Tyrone, I will not turn water into purple drink. It's just kind of stupid. I don't know. It says, men don't want to date women who are already dead to them. Then again, he's like an elf. He puts this woman's elf, and it's like some creature in the back seat. Just very weird, bizarre, and cringe. They get a lot of views, though. 5.5 thousand views. Look at this guy here. The little brown mud puppy is a very visible warning sign to stay away from that woman. Nothing good will come of interacting with her. Similar to the bright colors on the poison dart frog, warn others to stay away. Except these are poison dart nogs. That's what he's putting. It says, well, that's going into the slur quiver, if you don't mind. It doesn't matter the skin color. Love is love, and that's all that matters. I read this in David Attenborough's voice. It says, why the hell do I always end up in these racist threads? It's like, why are you hiding behind the keyboard? Men, women, show your face. If you are a man, woman, stand on business. You are a coward. White people have always been cowardly. Yeah, I agree. They are. And they need other groups. What they're good at is getting other groups to fight their battles for them, incentivizing certain groups. But when it happens to them, they cry victim. That's what they're blaming the Jew, the Zionist, right? They cry because the same thing they've done to other people, it's being done to them. Now, other forces, other intelligence apparatuses are maneuvering them to fight their wars and battles all over in the Middle East, right? For other people's interests, right? You say that in the language of whites on the phone invented by whites. Keep trying. So yet a black man, woman, Herbie Thompson, and Janet Emerson bashing this program, language, and software inventor, just to name a few. Pretty sure white people conquered many lands and people, including yours. Yeah, but like, look at you now, though. Like, you're trolling on the internet. What do you have to show for it? You cry about great replacement theory and you cry about the Kalergi plan. Like what do you have to show for it? They didn't invent anything. You're trolling. Let's face to face. Okay, name something that blacks invented in Africa before being brought through the ages by European whites. Yeah, even some of these people. There was a guy, a wingnut, on one of my posts, and it's like I can go back and forth, but it kind of gets boring really quick because you can like these are people I wouldn't even like. It's not even fun to go back and forth with some of them. Some of them it can be, depending on the personality, but it's like it gets kind of boring real fast. You realize a lot of these people, they're just not happy. This is some vile ish trying to catfish a man by taking out the obvious elephant in the room from the picture. A good man has no aspiration in raising a half breed. Right there, you go. Another slur, right? And you have no wife. Look at how ugly you are. Probably smelly too. Why would you want to raise another man's child regardless? Yeah, regardless of the race. But they throw, see the race, they throw the race in there. If I find a white woman, she already has a kid by a white guy, like it's what the hell's the difference? She's a single mom. She's a single mom, right? What the hell's the difference? But you see how like there's a racial component here. That's where you mulattoes got to start paying attention. That's why the earlier comment with the guy I was reading, I was reading his comment. He was talking about no, they have legitimate grievances. It's like, well, why are they're talking shit specifically on mulattoes? And I know most of you mulattoes are punks and pussies. You don't want to have this conversation. You need a guy like me to hop up on here to help give you some courage and inspiration. I get that. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to motivate you. I know a lot of you guys fall back. You wait for me to give you the signal, and then you get the okay, and then you go do it. Yeah, I get it. But that guy, the comment I read, he was trying to frame it that, oh, these guys have legitimate grievances. You have a wife? Are you married? Were you screwed in court? I don't know. This someone puts here and you have no wife. Let's see what the comment says. At least he doesn't hide his face behind some animated cartoon picture. Oh, really? You don't even have a picture. Besides, it's not a good idea to show your face online to strangers. I picked a character who portrayed high intellect, a calm demeanor, and passion for debates. And what are you? S. How boring. Yeah. I'm just pointing out the thing here all over this thread is this whole mongrel and half breed. The language they're using, it's purely racially charged anti mulatto. Yeah, it's not about black. Because then you have some people who try to tell you, well, it's because you're black, you're black or black. You're mixed. You're mulatto. Their mongrel is a slur or for a mix or like a dog and a half breed, right? So let's get with the program, guys. Okay, right here. It says, look at this ugly, fat bodied, little head, a having ass, uneducated, balding, strong necked beast being racist, calling a toddler half breed for being biracial. I guess that little head of yours has no space to grow. Yeah. Effing bastard. It's a Daria. Yeah. Crazy work, huh? This is what you find on these threads. And that's what I'm trying to point out that you can talk about this feminism, and feminism has nothing to do with any of this, with the position these guys are in. It's not about feminism. They're just trolling on the internet or family courts or no fault divorce. Yeah. Kevin Samuels, man, and Coach Greg Adams. Like, I don't, you guys listen to those clowns. I don't, whatever, man. And guy puts here mud sharks need to be sent to Africa with their monkey babies and their breeding gorillas, right? I don't know. What does this say? Yeah. Gorillas make monkey babies. Is that the white IQ? Well, Jamal, IQ is a number, so no, that would not be the white IQ. Your children look like monkeys, and your men behave like gorillas. I get it, though. You lack the capacity to understand the way I use the English language. Just stay in Africa, and we won't have any problems. I'd rather look like a monkey than a pig. Well, you kind of can't help looking like a monkey. Not sure. Yeah. You guys kind of get the gist, right? Do I need to go into more detail into those comments? White people don't procreate with any with different races. Your kids will be hideous. Didn't I tell you guys? This is what it's all about with them. When they attack the mulatto, it's all about, well, the kids are gonna be ugly. They're gonna be ugly. Don't procreate, right? It says white people. He didn't say white women. He said white people. Because I told you, white guys have been creating, or even currently today, in Africa, the Caribbean, in Latin America, in North America, Canada, US, Europe, all over the world, white men are procreating, starting families with black women. Most of these guys, because this is the Mayocell Crashout spot, they're gonna blame the female, right? They never show cases of white men, never. But this guy, and you look in the picture here, the meme, he says white people don't procreate with different races. But then they're pointing out that the kids are gonna be hideous. Told you guys that's what it's all about. That's their number one thing. Your kids are gonna be ugly. Your kids are gonna be ugly. One group is happy about this corruption. Remember, they have to have a boogeyman, and this is their boogeyman, right? They need a boogeyman to blame for their position that they're in. Instead of just getting a white woman, building a house, living off grid. Some of these people do that. I see some of their YouTube channels, and I like what they're doing. I mean, they're not really pushing this like political kind of nationalist stuff, but they have their white family and they're living, off the grid, etc. They call that homesteading, I believe. Yeah. So, but then you have these characters where it's like they can't do that. They can't find a female to start a family with. So what they do, they jump online and they blame this caricature right here, as if this guy gives a damn. This guy's doing his own thing. See, they have to find a boogeyman for why they're losers, right? Okay, and then they always like blacken up the kid, right? It's like an angry face. Yeah, crazy. And burn the coal, pay the toll. That's their famous slogan to shame quote unquote race mixers, right? Basically, adults exercising their right to date and mate with whoever they want. Look how beautiful she is, now completely destroyed. That mongrel will never have this beautiful girl's looks. I read that comment earlier, right? Yeah. But it's just the language. They're letting you know, they have an issue with the mulatto, right? They look at the mulatto as a potential threat because they already have blacks where they want them, essentially, working for them, begging for their acceptance, trying to work in their companies and move into their white neighborhoods. They kind of already have them where they want, right? It's the mulatto that they have issues with. Okay, right here, another comment. She's strong, independent, don't need no man, modern woman. Choose the bear. Is this guy actual MD? He's got a lot of followers. Let's see. Sunday Christian nationalism. Yeah. Yeah. Verified check mark. But the thing is, the language here, don't need no man, modern woman, right? That's red pill vernacular, right? Strong and independent. And then they have this picture here. Is probably was this on 4chan or something? I don't know. Yeah, same image they post there. Okay. Yes, more memes, Barbie memes. And this is another meme they have. Be smart, stay apart. This one. And look at how it's like, can a white woman have a kid that looks like that, Right? Like, can a white woman have a baby that's that dark? Right? But this is what they do. They exacerbate a lot of the images, the memes they make. I noticed that. They try to like blacken up the kid and stuff, which is done on purpose, right? Her broken orbital socket and jaw have healed nicely, right? Indicating that her partner would, hit her or something. The guy puts here, the niglet is proof positive that she spreads her legs for gorillas. There's no fixing that kind of smoke damage. Okay. Those are the good guys. This is a good guy. He's going to help out, make civilization better, right? These are the good guys. You can change the photo, but you can't change reality. White plus non-white equals non-white. No exceptions. That's why even the 10th generation, it cannot be undone. Let's see. No self-respecting white guy is going to want to be with her, certainly not out in public as a family, as the situation is embarrassingly obvious. The father of the child is long gone again, and the white guy is backup. Yeah. Again, with that reading that comment, it's sad that the rhetoric, see, as long as they're not making it like a anti-mulatto racial thing, but with his comment, I don't see that. He's not talking about biracial or mulatto or any of that. He's just talking about, let me read again, clarify. No self respecting white guy is going to want to be with her. Certainly not out in public as a family. As the situation is embarrassingly obvious, the father of the child is long gone again, and the white guy is backup. Yeah. So I agree with that comment. And like I said, I hate to kind of agree with I'll make this connection where, so if you're a biracial man, you're a light skinned man, and there's a light skinned woman, biracial woman you like, but she's a single mom, and her baby daddy was a dark skinned guy, and now her children, her offspring, are darker than her, right? But you're her complexion. You phenotypically resemble her, kind of, right? She's like the female counterpart, and you go out in public, and it's like, does that look normal? Are you gonna push the whole, well, black comes in all shades? I mean, I'm just speaking for me as a biracial dude. I'm just like, yeah, because the last part of sentence here, it's like, well, the white guy is backup, but do a lot of you guys see that where it's like they want to maneuver you to be the backup plan, right? Because it's funny, like doing this type of content, right? There's a lot of people who find my page, they follow me, and it's like there's a lot of these women who are they're mixed, they're pro mix and stuff, and it's like, but they already have a kid by a black guy. But it's like, why are you pro mix now? You kind of just wanted to be black, right? See, when it comes to black issues, you believe in race. You believe in the inequalities and how racism's bad. But when it comes to mix issues, you want to convince us, well, race isn't real. It's a made up concept. Like there's nothing special about being mixed, but they never do that when it comes to black people because they basically kind of married into blackness. Okay. For all intents and purposes. So, but the thing is like, do you want to take care of their black kids? If you're a light skinned guy, I don't know, ask light skinned historian. I know he's going to say no. I think me and him are in agreement with this discussion conversation in this regard right here. I know a lot of other guys, light skinned guys as well, and biracial men. That just seems like, yeah, to play the backup guy, to play, so because people will propose you that. I don't know. To me, I just kind of get a kick out of it, laugh. I know I've kind of run off some people, which is good. I mean, because they basically were the ones I didn't really want around. But you know, it's quite interesting, yeah. And it's insulting, you say. It's insulting when they come with you that proposal. They have, some other guy's kid, and then like they're interested in you, but it's like, well, what? Yeah, there's so many women I just couldn't even deal with. I just have too much self-respect. I'm like, I'm not like some other guy's leftovers. Like, you have a kid with that guy. Well, where's that dude at? How come he's not helping you out? What do you want me to do? Right? With all the makeup and filter, she's busted. Yeah. And then image there, animation. Okay. The mixed kid is an indicator of your sister's decision-making skills. Her being a single mother should be a glaring neon sign that she is not suitable to be any man's wife. She belongs to the streets like most modern women. This is the whole, like I said, the red pill manosphere kind of nomenclature. She belongs to the streets, right? And modern women. Said mud sharks are pretty bad, but single mothers in general are a serious problem. We need to make it harder to be a single mom, not easier. People need consequences for their actions. And this is the same guy, is another comment. This is a racist guy. I read a comment from him earlier up here where didn't he say mongrel? Let me see if I can find the spot and I can scoot back down so I don't lose it. Because I'm not going to go through all these comments, guys. I'm going to read a few more on this thread, check out your guys' comments, and then kind of keep it pushing. Here we go. This is the same, was it Eldrad Uthran? I just read his comment several minutes ago. Same guy. He says right here, mud sharks need to be sent to Africa with their monkey babies and their breeding gorillas. You guys see the clearly racist tone, right? But then he puts another comment. It's going to be the same username, right? Let's check it out. Where is it at? Right here. Elrad uh, Uthran, whatever, if I'm pronouncing that. That's how obsessed he is. He's so fixated on this topic. He's got to put two other comments. Like one has a clear racist tone, and this one's more kind of innocuous. Oh, it's the single mom. It's an issue. Single mom. It's too easy. I mean, isn't it easy for these guys to just knock up these chicks and they can just avoid paying child support? They can find a job, get paid under the table. They can move to another country, avoid taxes and shit, and avoid the child support. And there's guys who've been doing that for years. Deadbeat. That's what they call them. Deadbeat dads. Deadbeats. The issue is more just people getting away with crappy behavior and they need to be held accountable, in my opinion. The single mom stuff is all preventable. Stop messing with loser chicks. Very simple. These guys can't do that though. They can't. They can't stop messing with loser chicks. Get these losers out of your circles. Kick them out of your circles. Block them. They're problematic. They're not benefiting you in any way. Get them out. Only deal with the highest quality female. They can't never do that though. They always mess with loser bitches. They end up impregnating them. And then they complain about the results later. Bleeding Heart Democrats, along with racists like Lyndon Baines Johnson, gave them financial incentive to have single parent households. Yeah, they call that the Great Society. Is in the United States. That was during Lyndon Baines Johnson's, like the post Civil War. Or I'm tripping. I'm sorry. Post Civil Rights, like legislation. I forgot exactly what year. I don't have the date, but it was in like the late 60s during the Johnson administration. And it was called the Great Society, which was like a social mandate, basically, to incentivize, increase social support for women who are single moms. Funding, right, for food, the food stamp program, Section 8, all that stuff came out of that, the Great Society, Lyndon Baines Johnson. So, and it's led to all sorts of degeneracy. We need to make marriage the prescribed path in life, not broken homes. Racial homogenous marriage. Yeah. And these guys talk big and tough, but you posted all these comments on this thread. I mean, I doubt this guy even has a family. I doubt he's built anything, but he's so high and mighty. So how should we make racists feel consequences? How do we make them take responsibility for their actions? Oh, he's not going to like being challenged, is he? What are you talking about? We are already responsible for our actions. Being racist doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. It means you recognize the reality of race and love your own people. Is it based off love though? Loving your own people, calling some kid a toddler, a mongrel, or a monkey or something like that. Is that love of your own people? Really? But that's the kind of the charade that they try to put out there. Something I would say like 70+% of blacks would identify with. My people believe in the inherent dignity and equality of all human beings. We're all created in the image and likeness of God, even you and your despicable beliefs. All humans aren't equal. Some of us are more different than others, which is why blacks get the short end of the stick for being the lowest form of humanity. The thing is, you can see where his competition is, right? To him, it's kind of a white male, black male thing because he's seeing white women having kids with black males. That's it. See, if it was a Hispanic guy and a white man, he has nothing to say. He has nothing to say with all these white guys who are with Asian partners. I was driving in my town, my community today, going about, and I saw at least 3 cases looking in the other vehicle, like the windshield, looking through the windshield of the vehicles passing by. I saw like 3 cases in my area of a white man, Asian female partner, which is the #1 interracial relationship in this country, United States. It far exceeds the white female, black male component. But these guys, they only focus on one kind of interracial relationship. There's no accountability for what white males are doing with their lives. See, they put all the blame on this imaginary kind of Jewish conspiracy. Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting. We're gonna have to go into this a lot more, right? I don't want to spend all time dwelling on 1 or 2 comments, but some of this stuff gets kind of annoying and tiresome, right? And we've already kind of covered a lot of this, but I think I need to bring it back. Won't matter as soon as any man sees that she's a mud shark, they will cut bait and run. Once you go black because they are tainted and nobody wants mud shark, you are a single mom, right? There you go. Those are your people. As ethnic nationalists, we understand that our European blood is our nation. This woman and her non white child are not our fellow citizens. Yeah. Yeah. That's how they gatekeep. Yeah. Every group that can do that to preserve their lineage. Yeah. I have no, I can't say I have any issue with his stance. Is it not, is it unfair? Yeah. Life isn't fair. Is it extreme? Yeah. There's going to be challenges. But the funny thing is, even with that type of social stigma, I guarantee you, in a lot of cases, that mulatto child will be able to access more resources and opportunities within that group than other spaces. I mean, I'd love to see it. A lot of these mulattoes, if they grow up in a black community, like I just don't really, I don't know. I don't see like where, how successful they are. I don't know. Like I hear these stories online. A lot of times these people, men and women, they're getting, they're mulatto, they're getting treated like crap. They're trying to find out reasons why am I being outgrouped? And then they want to search, they search for answers. They want to know what's going on, and they find me. Now I know why mud sharks get, yeah, the lip injections. Who cares? Yeah, so basically deceive and lie to find a good man. Imagine asking to make the kid look white so she can find a man. And like I said, yeah. The whole thing with this, I'm just gonna go back up top because this is like, yeah, it kind of gets boring after a while with this crap. Yeah, okay. Let me go back up top. Is Photoshop that is like in Facebook, it looks like Lex Luthor right away is like that's the star Superman villain, Lex Luthor, right? So it could just be some random troll who's like trying to troll in that little group about Photoshop, just talking crap. Like he's like, my sister is having a hard time finding a good boyfriend. You know, it could be some troll. How does this woman have a hard time finding? She looks like a Barbie doll. She looks like a Barbie doll. And I've seen it. I could probably share in the future. Um, there was a post where there was a married couple. It was a white woman with her biracial child, and the black guy took the picture of them together somewhere at some park or some waterfall or something like that. The white nationalist didn't even know who took the picture. He just saw a white woman with a mixed child, and he shared it on one of his Mayocell pages and was talking crap. And then the receipts came out. Like this woman's actually like a content creator and she's married to this guy. It's just they took a fat L, man. But they get it wrong and they jump to the conclusions. They get it wrong all the time. And they jump to the conclusions, indicating when they see a white woman by her, like just a white woman standing with her child, like who the hell do you know is behind the camera? It doesn't look like a selfie to me. You know, who's taking her picture? This thing looks like a kind of a setup, but this is what they've been reduced to. This is what they've been reduced to, basically trolling on the internet. It's kind of a sad state for them. Everyone else is advancing and they are degenerating. Shout out to Val. You put YouTube for now reason is the repository for a lot of disgruntled guys who whine about women. It's pretty weird. Yep. YouTube. Yeah. Yep. I wrote about Kevin Samuels for my former blog. The guy was just smoke and mirrors, a joke, really. Shout out to Joe. Says I noticed they always, excuse me. I noticed they always attack the mulatto kids on their looks. Yeah. That's what you saw in the thread. That's all it was just attacks. Black women, or excuse me, yeah, black, white. I'm tripping. I'm trying to read this. Sorry, guys. Black, white biracials don't often understand that they will be looked down and disapproved in AA communities just as they are in other communities. Exactly. Just as they can be if they're Blaxican, they could be looked down on in Mexican communities, right? For being too dark. They could be looked at down upon in white communities for being othered, not being fully white, in the Asian communities as well for if you're Blasian being too dark. So that's an interesting, challenge, or I could say reality, because maybe for some it's not really challenging. They get benefits from it, depending on, other situations. But yeah, it could be an interesting situation depending on who you talk to. I think that's the thing. There's like layered nuances where it's not all the same for all of us, depending on where we're at. Our family is a key thing. The environment, the circles we're in, our family support, our neighbors, friends. It just those variables make a difference. If that white lady wanted to hide her mulatto son, she would just post a photo without him. Because is she gonna take her kid with her on a date? No. That's why I think that whole post was just a setup. And that white lady, I guarantee you that even posting a picture with her son, she'll still have guys click on her profile and ask her out, because that's the white boys. That's their reputation, is being a cuck and a simp. That's the reputation. They're cheering on all these blacks on the football field. It's all white boys. I'm looking at them like, you're a bunch of cucks. You're simps. I see white boys who are racist, but they're wearing like football jerseys. Like, they're punks. You're a cuck. You're cheering on. Oh, he's my favorite athlete. He's my favorite. Yeah, and he'll take your bitch. He'll take your girl. He'll knock you out and take your girl, and you're a cuck. And you like it. I mean, that's why it's all the pornography and shit out here. You have an entire, niche called cuckoldry. In the main content, it's a white guy getting cuckolded by a black guy, and the white woman's in the middle. It's a very bizarre dynamic that exists, but they've earned that reputation. Yeah, and so it's like, that lady, like, she could still get any guy. Not any guy. Let's be, like I said, let's be real. But she still has a lot of options because she's very attractive, above average. She wouldn't, and like I said, she's not going to take her child with her on a date. I doubt it, right? So for her posting a picture there, whatever, she wouldn't post him online and ask random people to remove her son. Is a fake caption from Nazis. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I speculated. You don't have to be smart to even look at it and say something's off with this. It's not adding up. YouTube seems, yeah, you put that comment like 5 times. I don't know, the spelling or whatever. In some respects, it's a three-part society as per the comment above, but the last part, biracial mixed race, isn't as developed in society as much. Yeah, not in this society. We're working on it. There's too much stigma, and it's on us to do something. Like I said, for me as a millennial guy, it's like, well, I have a responsibility. I have a responsibility to pass something down the best I can in my current predicament situation. I have to at least do something. The main thing for me is to give people a voice, because I know you don't have to like me. I'm not special. I always say that, but I am a voice amongst other voices that are growing. And that's the important thing. So blacks and whites are oppressed, are obsessed with mulatto looks. Yeah. Jealousy, right? And I'm saying, like, how is it that these mulattoes are winning these beauty pageants and these celebrities and models, and mulatto men, like, are even in the looks department, are dominating, like that, the mugshot Bay. What was that cat's name? I did a video on him, Jeremy Minks. Remember that cat? So like, you have guys like him, and then like these mulatto athletes and shit that are just dominating sports. Like, what the hell? But yeah, they're still just obsessed with the looks, because they know that the men and women mulattoes, like, we have options. We attract other racial groups. You know, Philip Scott simply doesn't like mixed race people, let alone Creoles. He's just another anti-biracial racist. Yeah, it's sad because he has a biracial kid. That's what I was pointing out with the guy CGA, the Coach Greg Adams guy. Okay, he has a biracial kid, I think a couple, but he still talks shit about biracial men. And he's talked some slick talk about for biracial women as well. That's the crazy part. But yeah, he has biracial offspring. It's just these people, man, they try to spread their pathology onto us. That's why for us, it's important to have a community, a networking, think tank. We have to be able to tell our stories and analyze information from our own lens. We can't let them dominate the conversation, just try to be all cool in their spaces. Fuck all that. We have to have our own spaces and control the narrative, because a lot of people, they think they're being programmed to be pro-black, and they're for their own demise, so they can be used as a perpetual servant. And that's no bueno. It's not good. You got to have your own identity, your own destiny. And if your parents can't help you out, like, you got to seek other inspiration. I'm not saying I'm the best guy or like the standard. I'm just saying that I'm just one voice that can show people like information and make them think a different way. They never show their faces, neither these pro wax nor Mayo chimps. The Mayo chimps, yeah. That's the thing about me, is I show my face and I talk shit. So now what? That's the difference with me. But they'll attack each other relentlessly. Love to see it as long as they leave light skinned people, mulattoes, out of their mouths. Otherwise, they could tear each other a new one. The thing is, you have to understand, with the whites and blacks, they come together to create mixed people, mulattoes, and they also come together to like fight, but they also come together to attack us. They come together to attack mulattoes, and they also come together to create mulattoes. So we're in an interesting situation that we have to be on the lookout for and analyze and strategize what they're doing. They didn't think this was going to happen this fast. I remember that, when did that National Geographic, cover come out? The kind of big, what people are saying in 2050, this is what the average American is going to look like. Like, they didn't think we were going to get a voice this quickly. And you better believe it, they're suppressing and censoring everything. People could say it's because of my delivery. It's like, no, it's because I'm not all inclusive. Okay. I'm ultra specific for mulatto. And so because of that, yeah, I'm obviously not going to get as pushed up with an algorithm. Although on Threads, one of my recent posts got a lot of traction, and so I'm going to talk about that. It's on my Patreon. I'm going to share that with you guys over there, if you're a member over there. But yeah, I hate how they act like white men did not create mulattoes for hundreds of years around the globe. Bingo. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Even like in Cuba, Cuba and Colombia and, all these places, Dominican Republic, and even in Africa, in the the coast of Africa, West Coast, the Gold Coast, and in South Africa, etc. Kenya today, Kenya. A lot of these mulattoes out there in Kenya, they have Kenyan moms and like white, either Italian or British fathers. They never talk about that. They never talk about that. They always want to talk about when it's a white woman who's with a black guy. See, because you get hate double sides. Like, when you deal with the blacks, they're gonna hate your ass. They're gonna, not all. I'm just saying. Same thing with the whites. I'm not saying all. I'm not an absolutist, but I'm saying, generally speaking, when you deal within black communities, you see the rhetoric on social media where, oh, you got a white mom. I know you got a white mom because you're proud to be mixed. It's like, what am I supposed to, like? If I had a white dad and a black mom, am I supposed to pretend like I don't have a white dad? I'm not supposed to talk about it. Just say, well, I'm black, and like be brainwashed. Basically, I've always walked through this world knowing that I have like the best of both worlds, per se, dual heritage. That I have an ability to connect with both groups, and I understand the language and the nuances. Like, that to me, the mutability, that's an advantage that we have if we know how to use it. The issue is that we need to find spaces where we can be validated, because oftentimes we're just guests in other people. We're trying to fit in other people's tribal groups and tribes, and like, we get outgrouped. We face some type of social stigma, and that's difficult for some of us. So we have to come together, create spaces where we can be validated, right, and feel that we belong. So that's the main challenge, I think, with us. But the benefit is that our mutability, our ability to adapt and to understand different cultures. But yeah, most of the time by force, they just mad because women are also doing it now. Yeah, they're mad because the white women, are exercising liberty now to be with any guy they want. They can travel. The women can travel. They have their passport. They can choose to be with different caliber of males. You know, yeah, because you have guys like Mick Jagger. He's got a bunch of wives. Mick Jagger, but he's got a lot of money. He's a rock star type of dude, right? That's why you have like rock stars, and you have these rappers. They got a bunch of different like kids and shit all over the place. But they got money and status, right? But the status is like whatever. But they got the money. They have the funding resources to make sure their offspring, their children, are sheltered and fed, and they have their healthcare needs met, psychological, emotional needs met, right? If they can support for their family, it's But yeah, the white women are exercising the same rights that white guys have been doing for years. I remember seeing online two light skins that had a kid with a darker complexion. Bantus were making fun of light skinned guys, saying he cheated on him with dark skinned guy. Yeah, and that's could be possibly true, right? Yeah. Can two light skins create a dark skin? Can you guys share with me or show me an example? If I ever have a dark skinned kid with a light skinned woman, there's gonna be some serious paternity tests. I mean, the paternity test thing should just be mandatory. But for any, that's what I agree on within like the male space, whatever. That just as a man just was in dignity. I don't even have to be attached to any space, but just like the paternity test should be mandatory before any name goes on the birth certificate. That would be the thing. That's like, I guess the men's rights, they're going to advocate for that, which they should. Any man with dignity would say that's appropriate. But currently, the way it is set up is that your name could go on the birth certificate as a father, and like there's no test even taken, no requirements for a paternity test. That's insane. They're going to legally, that's a legal document, birth certificate, bind you to that child, and it couldn't even be your child. That's why there's guys who get these paternity tests. They realize a different DNA, that's not their child. Then they have to take the person to court and shit. That's a whole mess, man. I mean, I think about where I'm at in my life, and I sometimes I sit and smile. It's like, man, because some people out here kind of got it fucked up. Like their situation's like pretty bad. And like for me, I'm just focused on like traveling. Like, where's the next place I'm going to go to? Which stocks am I going to invest in? How am I going to get my money up? What's the next move? How am I going to build this up? What I have, what I'm presenting to you. What am I going to do with this project? I call it. But yeah, some people, that paternity shit, the paternity fraud, that's a horrible situation. Yeah, retaken, taken tenfold. I need through thorough evidence. Yeah, you have to. It should be mandatory. Should be mandatory paternity test. And it's like, imagine the big fat massive L that guys have to take when it's like they've been taking care of a kid for a decade who's not even theirs, but they build like a bond, which makes sense, with the child or their stepchild, right? But then they find out the child's not even theirs. Like, that's got to be so heartbreaking, man. It's crazy. And people are doing people dirty out here like that. Liars, frauds, and just scammers and shit. And couldn't care less if my parents are dark. You put I could see Gen Z black moms brainwashing their mulatto kids into being black identified, but this wasn't common for boomer black women, for example. Yeah. Gen Z black moms brainwashing mulatto kids and black identified. This wasn't common for boomer black women. Oh, it's for example, but I noticed black women who hate themselves and want to be mixed want to do this to their mixed children. It's pretty strange. Interesting. Like they want to convince someone mixed they're just black, not special, to feel better about themselves. Yeah. Well, people do that now on social media. Like, you make a video just about being mixed or something, or something interesting, nothing negative or about any group. You just make a video about being mixed. They're going to say, being mixed, you act like being mixed is your whole personality. Or they'll say being mixed is not a flex. It's like, but then the same people, they'll turn around and they'll brag about themselves and how their European culture is such a flex. We built civilization. Or the blacks will say, being black is such a flex because they got all this culture. It's like these other groups want to exercise, right? Their individuality or their collective kind of achievements. But with you, there's like massive kind of gaslighting and censorship. Now, I'm not positioning it as being a victim. That's why for me, like I said, I'd rather just be the bad guy. It's cool. I'm cool. I'd rather just be the bad guy here, but I'm not getting punked by anybody. And that's why I'm very assertive and bold with my delivery, because I rather take that route. It's more comfortable. It's more of a masculine route than to sit here and pretend and to cry like I'm a victim or something. No, because I can control the outcomes that are in front of me, how much I put into this and the decisions I make, etc. So many women plan long before they have kids to mentally, damn, that's crazy. Yeah. Yeah. It's very rare, but it can probably happen. I hope for the sake of the light skinned guy that it was really his kid. Yeah. I recently learned about the term Beano. Yeah, that's from the Angry Man, Beano, black in name only. And that's what I mostly label myself now because it's better than light skin black. And obviously, I can't call myself mulatto, but I am still support you guys' venture. Yeah, they call you a light skin black to trick you, to think that you're a part of the dark skin tribe. You're just a kind of little subgroup. That's what they'll literally say, that you're a subgroup. You're just a subgroup. You're just you're just a part of the group. You're just over there. You're there when they need someone to beat up on and punch on and spit on and step on. That's what you're there for, right? Because you notice in the white group, the white tribe, right? Anglo-Saxon, their tribalism, right? They never call anybody a dark skinned white person. You notice that? With a white person with a tan or something, where they like a Sicilian or something, where they call them Southern Europeans. They're not Anglo-Saxon. Yeah, they're within the white umbrella, I guess, but they've been discriminated against historically. Maybe not today. But They can't afford to. They need the numbers. Okay, that's why they're trying to build alliances with Asians and trying to create a whole Hapa army. Basically because these white nationalists, they've given white women, historically they're white women have more power, more choices, etc. So a lot of them are being defiant, questioning the hegemonic social order that the white patriarchy has. And like you said, these white women are exercising their power, and they're upset about that. So they're going to go to other women, primarily Asian, to try to have their way over them. And then they have mixed kids, and those kids are hot, but they're not white, but they need the numbers, so they're letting in everybody into their group, right? That's what I'm seeing. It's not a W. Look at their vice president, JD Vance. American patriot, conservative, MAGA. We're gonna make America great again, with his Indian wife and brown skin biracial children. Yeah, that's MAGA. That's the conservative movement, right? And in 2028, you're gonna have him running on the conservative ticket, right? Interesting. Yeah, interesting. That's where they're at today, though. Yeah. Okay. Shout out to you guys in the comment section, the chat. Make sure you guys hit the like button. I appreciate it. If you guys are over on X or Twitter, yeah, hold up. My likes are way too low. I got 9 likes, 25 people watching. What's up with that? You guys like the content, or you forgot to hit the like button? Likes are free, guys. All you got to do is just smash that like button. Help me out so I can get pushed in the algorithm. I know I do got some hate watchers, which is sad. They're gay, they're bored. I don't know. But um even if you're a hate watcher, you're still watching my stuff. So, but the likes are really going to help me out within the algorithm. So if you do like the content, hit the like button. The men are different, but BW black women, yeah, your color are self-hating and unhinged. I had one yelling at me recently that I'm black while she goes around pretending she's mixed with white Native American. Yeah, that's how they are though, huh? Like they want us to be black, but then they don't even want to be black themselves. They want to be mixed. I had to put that in my on my TikTok in the some of the comments, like the replies. I had one idiot today. This is today actually, earlier, who was like, you just want to be white. That's what they always say. You just want to be white. And I replied to the guy. Now I think it's a good comeback, a good reply you guys should use. Just tell them, well, you just want to be mixed, right? They want us to be black to make themselves feel better about themselves, right? So when they tell you, well, you just want to be white, but well, you just want to be mixed. What the hell is going to be the reply? I haven't got a reply yet from that person. I'll report back to you guys to see what you guys to share with you guys. But that's yeah, you just want to be white. How can I want to be white or want to be black when that's part of my heritage? I'm a unique blend that creates an entirely independent, self-sustaining entity, racial group, which is mulatto. And I know some people want to trick you and tell you that mulatto is not a race. Yes, it is. It historically always has been. It still is today. And people want to trick you and tell you it's not. They're going to say, well, it's an ethnicity. And you have some idiots out here who will tell you, well, you don't know the difference of race and ethnicity. No, I know the difference, bozo. Okay. You guys just want us to identify as black so bad to make you feel comfortable. But we're not. We're mulatto. That's our race. Okay. Can cry about all you want, get your numbers up, get your influence up, and maybe people will believe you. Okay. Yeah. Shout out to you, Val. I appreciate your comments. I will never trust light skinned women. They want to be mixed more than dark skinned women. Shots fired. Shots fired. You said light skinned women, they want to be mixed more than dark skinned women. Damn. Shots fired. Many light skinned black women are horrendous when it comes to her harassing mulatto women. You guys should share some of these stories you guys have, you know. Um, yeah, shout out to Light Skin History. I know I he made a couple upload a couple videos today. It wasn't his commentary, but I think he found the clips on TikTok or whatever and posted it on his channel. And they were basically of light skinned women who were basically, Bantu butt kissers for all intents and purposes, right? Complaining about light skinned men and talking about how dark skinned people have it so disadvantaged. I'm just so surprised these idiots still jump on social media pushing this crap with us. That like you like and then they're so proud. It's like they're so virtuous. They act like they're doing God's work. It's very deplorable, but that's kind of what you're up against in certain circles. Like I said, I'm not in like those black adjacent spaces like that unless I'm, getting entertainment or something like that. So I don't really deal with that type of weirdo kind of light skinned savior like energy. I'm just not interested. I'm bent over it. I'm done with it. It's just yeah. But yeah, it's you still find these people out here, man. I'm 37% black by DNA, and she wants me to call myself black. However, her mom is a light skinned colorist who told her she wishes she had mixed kids instead. Damn. I've had more problems with light skinned black women, far more than dark skinned ones now. They are used to getting attention for being light skinned, but only around darker people. And it works the same way with the light skinned males, That's why biracial and mulatto is not the same as light skinned black. Because the light skinned black can mean a couple, it can mean it varies. They can be mulatto or whatever, but they don't identify as such, like an MGM or something. Most of the time they're just black identified because this is fairly new, this developing, growing consciousness. For me as a biracial, like I've always been dual heritage, European African. My mom passed down, made it so I was proud of my German heritage. In my African American family, like they've made me proud that that's part of my heritage, right? What you want to call like FBA, and that to me that's just online cult, but I'll just say like the African American kind of culture. Yeah. So for me, that's growing up. That's been my reality. Where it's like I'm dual heritage. I'm proud of both of So that's been my identity always. I'm fully embracing it now. There was a period in my life where I've tried to suppress. I can say my white side. A lot of us mulattoes, we get hoodwinked and tricked, and because we want to do that, suppress our white side in exchange for black acceptance, right? And that I went through that pro-black phase, that we call that the standard mulatto. So I did go through that, and as a learning, it's part of life. That's why you see a picture with me with Dr. Umar Johnson. That was 10 years ago now. It was in 2016, so 9 years ago, decade ago, basically, right? So I was in a different position in my life at that time, in my mid 20s versus where I'm at now, right? Traveled more. And at that time, I barely started to kind of travel the country first and then traveled around the world. But yeah, where was I getting at with that? They're using attention. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that I think that applies to the males as well. There's a lot of times where they have advantages being a quote unquote red bone or yellow bone. That's like black terms, right? In the black community. So they can have advantages within black spaces being the special light skin, being unique or something, exotified, right? But once a biracial shows up, it's where we're different because we're different culture, different mannerisms, we act differently. So and then that can kind of piss off some light skinned people because they feel like their status is being kind of dethroned or up for up for the taking. So it does occur with the men and women. That's the difference between biracial and light skin. See, I started this whole conversation talking about the Mayo cells and the crashing out. But like for whatever reason, I'm reading your guys' comments, it diverted back to like the black community politics. I don't know how the hell that had happened. I'm trying to figure out how the hell this happened because this is, this whole light skin black and all like I don't how did this happen? I, the whole thing I just realized right now we're supposed to be talking about the Mayo cells. Okay. I gotta basically I'm already an hour and 20. I'm gonna end up doing another stream probably tomorrow, part two, and share some other material to kind of keep this focus and on track. Okay. Yeah, there's a bunch. You gotta do your own research though. Don't take my advice. I'm a novice investor. I should have started 10 years ago, but I started late. But my portfolio is looking solid for my standards. Um, I can say there's a stock I'm looking at. It's the Canadian Railroad Company. Canadian Railroad Company dividend stock, and yeah, Uber is good. Do your cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. I mean, at least BTC. That's like the only crypto that I'm really interested in, and because it's up, it has the largest growth of any other stock that I see on the market. It's at like 120,000 right now, one coin. Canadian Natural Resource is a good one, a dividend stock. But yeah, I mean, if you have any pennies, any money you want to throw, yeah, BTC, it's 111,000. I'm not pushing crypto like that. I'm saying, but like when I invested in that crypto like 5 years ago and looking to where it's at right now, it's the highest it's ever been. So I don't know. You gotta do your own research. What do you think is good? I think my Uber stocks have been performing very well. But that's all I'm gonna say for that. Just go do research. All it takes is a light skinned woman who's your shade and foresee needed for the hate, as if we couldn't share traits, white parent. For me, with the whole like light skin thing or biracial thing, it's just there's a different culture. I think that's the main thing for me. It's like I'm not gonna prove my blackness to fit in with blacks. So I'm not. That's the thing with me. So it's a culture thing for me. It's not really like the skin tone or hair or any of this like stuff. It's just to me, it's just different culture, different people. We think differently, we act differently. We're in different social circles. We're different. Okay. The same could be said about biracials who have 4C mad at lighter women who have looser hair than theirs. Interesting. Yeah. Light skinned women love wearing blonde wigs. Yeah, I don't know why Val is, not digging the light skins or whatever. I'm 37 African too. You put right here. We have Jessica. Light skinned black women are very jealous of mulattoes. Look at what they have done in this sector. Interesting. Yeah. I don't know. You guys trying to use my channel to start something? I don't know. What have they done in this sector? A lot of these, none of in what sector are you talking about? Let's be clear. I don't know who the hell Jessica is. You're under your sock puppet account, Miss. Okay. Jessica. You just show up in my chat trying to instigate shit. Never seen you before. Okay. Not a verified channel, but you want to light skin are very jealous of mulattoes. Well, where's the evidence? And then sector, you're using the term sector. That is a dead giveaway. Okay. So I don't know why you come over here with the sock puppet troll account spreading this type of foolishness. This is a very disgusting look. Okay. And I'm not interested in it. I don't entertain it. So just going to be moving on from that. You guys can hit the like button. Appreciate that. I'm going to kind of close this out pretty soon. Sorry we get off topic sometimes. Yeah, we're definitely off topic from the initial post. You're not mulatto though, bro. So who are you referring to? The sheet for you? No, I'm not referring to her. Too many self-hating light-skinned black men relying on biracials to save them. Yeah, Not gonna call it any names, but it's I think what it is, we kind of got this shit popping. That's what the whole thing with the whole golden sphere shit was, where basically the biracials just had the voice. I saw these other channels out there, and it's like they're kind of slow. They weren't going over any articles or any data. Like they weren't they did some reaction videos, but like they just were like bonobos. They just wanted to like hang out underneath the women. I just saw that type of energy. They didn't really want to like control the conversations. They just wanted to hang out under, and the women they're hanging out under, they're fucking baby mamas. They got black baby daddies. I'm like, you guys are suckers and marks. Like, well, I'm different than you guys. Okay. I'm a biracial mulatto man with a nasty attitude and some balls. Like, I'm not the same as you guys. So that's why I had to basically delineate from them and say, "Oh, enough with this MLS and all the gold and all the, okay, now I'm mulatto man. Okay. Period." So, yeah, that's the thing is because the biracial guys were the ones who just basically were putting in work to use their nomenclature, making the videos. Yeah, trying to grift into the biracial category. I don't know. I don't know. Cool. That's all I got for you guys right now. Appreciate you guys being here. Hit the like button just to kind of wanted to go ahead and cover the material for the mail cells. We're not done yet. I got a couple other posts, but for another day, another time. And I don't like how the whole conversation kind of turned at the end. I want to stay focused, but that's on me, the moderator and host. That's my responsibility to make sure that the dialogue stays on track. But I do appreciate you guys being here, and that's the thing is I love the to interact with you guys. Let me just get this little loser baby mama with her stupid sock puppet account the F up out of here. And yeah, but I love interacting with you guys. Okay. And that's why I enjoy reading your comments. I know last stream I was going 3 hours and I was like, I'm not going to get to all your comments, but I appreciate your guys' engagement because that's more than anything, more than the likes, more than the views, more than the subscriber count. The cool thing about the subscriber count, once you reach a certain threshold, you can kind of get the plaque. You can put it on your wall, right, for your backdrop. That's kind of a cool. That's a W. Um, but to me, I like the engagement. You know, because we can keep this conversation going. We can have a sense of community. We can exchange ideas with each other, right? And I learn stuff from you guys. Like I learn a lot, like from Flowers telling Stuart, all respect to her. Like she shares so much. And, Val shares a lot of her stories. And you guys bring and share and stuff. And it's just, we can share with each other. So it's good. The engagement is key. So I appreciate you guys. And yeah, peace out. I'll see you guys next time. Sayonara.